Good, happy Thursday morning, December 31st, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Thursday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. It's the last day of 2020. Tonight we will ring in the new year. New Year's Eve is this evening. Welcome to the last day of 2020 and the last edition of The Morning Show with Riley King on this 2020. We'll see you in the new year with more of The Morning Show. Let's begin this Thursday morning edition, December 31st, 2020. The Morning Show with Riley King right now. Grab your cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Thursday edition of The Morning Show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. First up, we're going to start off with COVID-19 updates. Let's take a look at the Johns Hopkins University in Medicine COVID-19 dashboard. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that for all of you. Right now, there are 82,835,563 global cases. U.S. cases are at 19,745,136. Global deaths are 1,807,638. U.S. deaths are 342,414. That's a look at your COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. And now let's get to the other news. Samuel Little, deemed the nation's most profile serial killer by the FBI, has died. An official cause of death has yet to be determined. Samuel Little, the profile serial killer who was serving 3 consecutive life sentences, is dead, authorities said on Wednesday. Little died at the hospital shortly before 5 a.m. local time, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said in a statement. An official cause of death will be determined by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office. He was 80 years old. COVID-19 vaccine rollout falls short of expectations, raising questions about 2021 timeline. States and vaccine experts say they aren't worried yet, but money is an issue. The U.S. COVID-19 vaccine rollout moved slower than expected this month, a stalking fear that the federal government was mishandling the effort and that people would have to wait months longer than expected to get their shots. The federal officials have defended the program, saying that bringing the vaccine to the American people in less than a year was still a technical feat, and that the program remained on track. But still, they acknowledged the effort was lagging behind expectations, and vaccine experts and public health officials warned the bigger test will come next year when inventory finally expands and the broader public raise their hands for a shot. High LA virus deaths, more contagious variety hit California. A more contagious variety of the coronavirus has been found in California, where state health officials are warning people to avoid New Year's Eve gatherings. A momentum variety of the coronavirus that appears to be more contagious has been found in Southern California, where the state's most popular country recorded more than 10,000 deaths, and authorities warned they will be patrolling the streets to shut down large New Year's Eve gatherings that could spread the infection. U.S. features little change ahead of the final day of 2020. U.S. stock features were largely flat early Thursday morning as Wall Street prepared for the final day of 2020. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. Let's take a look at your weather across the United States right now. And here's a look at the weather across the United States for all of you right now. As you can see, we have a high pressure moving across up into New Hampshire and through Maine and into the border of Canada, as you can see. But over here, you can see freezing rain possible, and then mixed precipitation here, and then rain all here in the green. New York, Philadelphia, Washington, Virginia, North Carolina. And then you have rain and thunderstorms in this section of the United States. Over here, you're seeing heavy rain and flash flooding possible. Over here, severe thunderstorms possible. And then in this part of the United States, it is all dry with low pressure system and a few high pressure area. Over here, you're seeing snow with high pressure, and over here, some rain and mixed precipitation here. Otherwise, that is a look at the weather across the United States. Some parts will be dry in the United States, and some parts will see some precipitation. So, that is a look at the weather for today across the United States. And we're going to switch gears now. We're going to take a look back at the top news headlines of 2020. Let's take a look at that right now.
Mystery virus from China.
The variation of the coronavirus.
All the victims believed to have visited the same meat and seafood market in Wuhan.
First confirmed case so far in the United States.
A surge in coronavirus cases on a quarantine ship.
They're here to take you right now.
Yeah, they are.
The risk to the American people remains very low.
Tapping Vice President Pence to head up the administration's coronavirus response.
Millions urged to work from home. Airlines now canceling flights.
The virus now in every region of this country.
We don't have enough tests today.
Wall Street's worst day in more than a decade. A growing list of schools, events, conferences, and concerts called off.
The Olympics postponed. Shoppers rushing stores to buy essentials.
The World Health Organization is now classifying the virus as a global pandemic.
The flu has a mortality of 0.1%. This has a mortality of 10 times that.
New York City becomes the red-hot center.
You picked the 26,000 people who are going to die because you only sent 400 ventilators.
Everyone describes all the critical care units as war zones.
U.S. now leading the world in deaths.
Federal government now recommending Americans who live in hotspots to wear face masks.
Heartbreaking images like these emerge from Americans flooding food banks.
Calling for the end to the economic lockdown.
I'm not going to let the cure be worse than the problem.
Nearly every state in the country back to business.
Operation Warp Speed.
Vaccine or no vaccine, we're back.
Millions flocking to pools and beaches over Memorial Day weekend.
Social distancing is absolutely critical.
Today, we're hitting 200,000 deaths.
Each person was so much more than a number.
The president tests positive for the coronavirus.
An unannounced trip to Walter Reed.
I learned a lot about COVID.
Thanksgiving struggle, the hospitals running out of beds, log jams at testing sites.
TSA has processed more than 7 million passengers.
Nothing's stopping me. Nothing.
The FDA formally authorizes emergency use of Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine.
This is what we've been praying for.
Healthcare workers lining up to receive their shots, just as the U.S. surpasses 300,000 COVID deaths.
An American is now dying every 36 seconds.
This is the reality of what COVID really looks like.
Trial of President Trump.
Help you God.
Do not seriously contest any of the allegations against the president.
The only one who should be embarrassed, Mr. Nadler, is you.
The state of our union is stronger than ever before.
Acquitted of the charges in said articles.
Acquitted of abusing power and obstructing Congress.
Nothing wrong, but this is what the end result is.
So help me God.
Amy Coney Barrett becomes the newest Supreme Court Justice.
I will do my job without any fear or favor.
The Democratic ticket now official. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris capping an historic convention.
The first presidential debate of the season.
Would you shut up, man? Proud boys, stand back and stand by.
The far tamer, more traditional debate.
People are learning to die with it. It's China's fault. It's a rigged election. Get rid of the ballots and you'll have a very peaceful. There won't be a transfer, frankly.
Joe Biden has won the Keystone State, Pennsylvania.
We can now project that former Vice President Joe Biden has been elected President of the United States.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify.
I may be the first woman in this office. I will not be the last.
20 votes for the Honorable Joseph R. Biden.
The Electoral College officially seals his victory.
The Trump campaign and Republicans filed 56 legal challenges. 50 of those have been denied, dismissed, or withdrawn.
The flame of democracy was lit in this nation a long time ago. We now know nothing, not even a pandemic or an abuse of power, can extinguish that flame.
Father and son accused of chasing and gunning down an unarmed black man.
His family says the 25-year-old was just out for a jog.
This is one of the most heinous crimes that I think we've seen in this generation.
A black man pinned to the ground, later dying after a white officer kneeled on his neck.
Thousands of protesters storming cities across the country.
Police now advancing on protesters.
The flashbangs are continuing to go off.
Presidential photo op in front of a fire-damaged church.
All we want is peace. So to those who want to turn this into something that it's not, please stop.
A 26-year-old former EMT was shot to death back in March when police, with a no-knock warrant, entered her apartment.
Protests erupt from coast to coast. No homicide charges for the officers involved. NASCAR bans the Confederate flag.
Over a dozen cities had their statues toppled to the ground.
Washington Redskins reveal they'll drop their controversial nickname.
The R word is the N word, and we can no longer tolerate this kind of hate speech in our society.
Harvey Weinstein found guilty of rape.
Kept saying over and over again was, I'm innocent, I'm innocent.
He is him, and I was me. But that's changed now.
The arrest of Jeffrey Epstein's longtime confidant.
Maxwell enticed minor girls, then delivered them into the trap.
She was one of the co-conspirators. She might have been just equally as bad as he was.
The two largest blazes in Colorado's history.
Oh my God.
Forcing the evacuations of thousands.
I feel like I want to cry.
No end in sight. More than 500 fires burning out of control across California.
Devastation is just, it's amazing.
There is something so fundamental that also cannot be denied, and that is climate change.
Tropical storm Cristobal.
Hurricane Hannah.
Tropical storm Isaias. Hurricane Laura slams into the Gulf Coast overnight.
Hurricane Delta.
Targeting the already ravaged Gulf Coast.
How could this be happening again?
Brian, for the win! You can't write something better than this.
Now Seaver runs out to the mound.
You got to know when to hold 'em.
I'm Regis Philbin.
Want a piece of me? You got it!
The host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
In my lifetime, I expect to see 3, 4, perhaps even more women on the high court bench.
When you see something that is not right, not just, not fair, you have a moral obligation to say something, to do something.
Whew, what an unbelievable look back. It takes your breath away.
Really
You get
does.
emotional looking at all of that. It's a year. It feels a little bit more like a decade.
Yeah.
What stands out to you, Jeff, of all the stories you covered?
Well, aside from the pandemic and the election, I think for me personally, what resonated was covering the memorial services for the late Congressman Elijah Cummings, and then Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and then Congressman John Lewis. 3 towering figures lost in 1 year.
Yeah, it was just such a loss, all of them. And we looked back at so many lives that we lost this year. I think for me, having to moderate the debate will really stand out for me this year. There was so much at stake, 12 days before the election, so many critical issues that you just named. The pandemic really being at the top of that list, and this incredible team effort here at NBC to make that happen. And speaking of a team effort, we do want to thank the folks who put that beautiful piece together: coordinating producer Jen Ting Hong, associate producer Maya Petros, and editor Melissa Lang. Just remarkable work by all of them. And we will be back right after this.
Okay, and there you go. What a year it has been in 2020. Wow. And we look forward to seeing what happens in 2021. Next up, we're talking about Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. Let's take a look and see what to expect this year on Dick Clark Rockin' Eve. Let's take a look right now and hear from the man, Mr. Ryan Seacrest.
Now, our GMA cover story, the countdown to 2021. Whoa! Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, just a day away. And joining us now, who else? The hosts who brought into our homes the new year for so many years now, for this big night, the one and only. There he is, Mr. Ryan Seacrest, everybody. There.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I keep saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Let's just get there.
Not quite, but this is 16. I cannot believe this is 16 years for you. You started doing the show when you were 14, apparently.
Yes, I did.
Did you think, is this one of those gigs that all of us that are watching now, our kids and our grandkids, everybody will see Ryan Seacrest for New Year's Eve? Like, you'll have this gig forever, will you not?
I hope so.
Yeah.
If any of the bosses are watching, I'm pitching myself for forever right now. But this is the show. I grew up watching myself with Dick. I would be at home with my family, my folks, and we'd watch on the couch every single year. So to be there is incredible. Now, obviously, this year is going to be a lot different, but there are going to be some similarities. We're going to bring you, a big party, live performances. Our friend Jennifer Lopez will actually be in Times Square with us on stage. And Lucy Hale, Billy Porter will co-host with me. We'll move around Times Square pretty freely, but with our masks in certain zones, we have to have the mask. In other areas, we're cleared to take the mask off for a couple of the segments.
You mentioned 16 years, but of course you say not exactly like this before. So what else can we expect in terms of how things are going to be a little bit different?
Well, I think we're going to be wanting to get there faster and sooner than ever before. A friend of mine actually said to me the other day, "Hey, are they going to drop the ball?" And I said, yeah, they're planning to drop the ball as normal. So we will definitely have a few different kinds of groups of people in the pens. We will have our heroes of 2020. We'll have the first responders, the essential workers. Many of them don't call themselves heroes, but we'll have a chance to meet them, meet their families, and celebrate what they have done for us this year.
And you mentioned Jennifer Lopez. We know that every year there are huge performances, big surprises. Can you spill the beans and the secrets on some of the other performances we can expect?
Well, everybody that has had a hit this year, Louis Capaldi and Doja Cat and, Miley Cyrus is going to perform. We're going to throw back to In Vogue. Billy Porter's going to perform with Cyndi Lauper, so that's going to be great. And then we'll have the last interview of the year with President-elect Biden and future First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden. So that will all happen, too, right before the ball drops, and we finally get to say 2020 is over. Happy New Year 2021.
Ryan, how did you find that balance, right? Some people just want to put this year behind, forget about it, and just have a party. But also, as you talk about the heroes, you have to still incorporate some of that. How do you balance just wanting to put it behind and let everybody just have a party versus also recognizing what we've been through?
Well, I think that we do want to have a celebration. I think we are all looking forward to so much celebrating a new year and what hope this new year can bring. I don't want to jinx it by saying it's going to be so amazing, but let's hope so. I remember when the ball was dropping in 2020, I was ad-libbing all kinds of things about, it's 2020, it's a new decade, what an amazing year it's going to be, and clearly it turned out to be one of the most challenging. But we do feel it's important to celebrate essentially those New Yorkers who were here in the middle of the pandemic, but we want them to have fun. So I think that's where the balance will be struck, TJ.
Got to ask you an idle question while we have you. The show is going full steam ahead, but like so many others, it's gone through a lot of changes, too. How are auditions going? What can you tell us?
The show so far, we've shot the auditions in different cities in California. We had to work inside of a bubble to shoot the auditions, but the show looks like it normally looks, even though we have our distance. And it looks like we'll be in the studio, fingers crossed, starting next year when we go live. So the show will have that same big scale feel that it has, which is great for the performers, too, so they get a chance to feel what it's like to be on a big stage. But so far, it looks like the original American Idol.
So, Ryan, quickly, we got to ask you, because we've all picked up hobbies in 2020 on quarantine, and we noticed the jars behind you. We thought you were pickling your own sauerkraut there at home, but apparently this is something new. Tell us about the olive oil.
Yes, Whit. I was looking, I was always asked about hobbies, and I realized I didn't have that many because I work so much. So I decided that I needed a hobby. I have been reading up on the benefits of olive oil for the last year or so, and there are a lot of health benefits, and it tastes good, too. So I've been studying different olive oils from around the world, and I planted my own olive orchard, and in 2 years, you will be receiving for your holiday gift some olive oil from me if I can figure out how to make it well. But that has become my hobby.
2 years. You're a patient man. Stand by for that.
Quality takes time. Let's not rush quality, okay?
Isn't that the truth? Ryan, really, it's good to talk to you. It's been a heck of a year, but if anybody can pull this off and this type of celebration, we know you can. Good to see you as always, and we will see you tomorrow night, all right?
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Great to see you. Happy New Year.
And Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest 2021 will air live tomorrow beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern and Pacific right here on ABC.
Okay, there you go. Who is ready to watch the New Year's Eve? Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve tonight. Can't believe it's New Year's Eve this evening. Wow. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. In today's entertainment news, Gilligan Island star Dawn Wells died at 82 after a COVID-19 battle. Let's take a listen to that video right now from E! News.
Fame for her role as Marianne on Gilligan's Wells, who gained fame for her role as Marianne on Gilligan's Island, has died at the age of 82. Wells died in Los Angeles of causes related to COVID-19. Gilligan's Island premiered in 1964 and ran for 3 seasons until the series finale in 1967. The show had solid ratings throughout its 98-episode run. Wells' character, Marianne, was one of 7 castaways as they attempted to survive on an island on which they had shipwrecked. Marianne's backstory was that she was from Kansas and won her 3-hour tour on the boat in a contest. During her time on the island, she was a cheerful member of the castaway crew, and her optimism a welcome boost to viewers.
Gilligan, do you remember that pie I made for you before?
Uh-huh. It was delicious.
Well, I made 3 of them, and I can't seem to find the other 2. Have you seen them?
No. Well, I saw them, but I didn't take them.
In August 2018, Wells took a fall and revealed that she was having difficulty paying for the 2 months of hospital rehabilitation that she needed. A friend created a GoFundMe page, which ultimately raised over $200,000 for her. Before her role on Gilligan's Island, Wells was crowned Miss Nevada in 1959 and competed in the 1960 Miss America pageant. That same year, she graduated with a degree in theater arts from the University of Washington.
Okay, and there you go. And our thoughts and prayers go to her friends and family. Jennifer Lopez on Emotional Profound NYE Gig. Let's take a listen to that video from Access Hollywood.
Beauty drink. It really is. It is insane. Tell me about performing in the morning on Rockin' Eve. It is like pretty much the epitome of all performances. I mean, it's exciting. Here we go. It's exciting for me to be performing on New Year's Rockin' Eve. I haven't done it in about 10 years. And on such a kind of tough year for everybody. I've been saying, you know, we've been waiting for tonight, never as much as tonight, as that night, this night that's coming. So, you know, I just see it as a very big moment. You know, I felt like I had a big moment at the beginning of the year with the Super Bowl, but to me, this is so much more emotional, profound moment that I'm getting to perform, and I just want to, you know, make people dance a little bit and smile a little bit and get ready for a hopeful future. Absolutely, I love it. And from your hometown. Absolutely. Tell me, New Year's Eve is always a time everybody makes New Year's resolutions. Yeah. What are your beauty resolutions? My beauty resolutions? To take, you know, I think we all learned that self-care was really important this year. And so for me, it's about, you know, kind of taking care of myself, being loving to myself, and just taking time to slow down and doing the right things for myself. I think, you know, we all were in this mode before this year where we were rushing and thinking that everything was so important, all the things we had to do were the priorities, and when we realized that the priorities were our health, our family, and quality time with each other. And that became so clear this year. For me, that's going to be a big part of what I take into 2021. That and laughing more. Yes, sure. Yes. What I love about you mentioned family is just that family is at the core of everything you do. You posted the most stunning photo in that red gown. Was that Christmas? That was before Christmas Eve, but it was a video that I did with a friend of mine for a Christmas song we did together. So I had that picture, and I thought it was like, that's like the fantasy of Christmas Eve, right? Okay. So, yeah. But the reality is you probably... The reality is I had a long red dress on. That was the reality as well, but not that long. I love it. I love it. Tell me about the Wash Away event. I want to know what is happening. What can fans join? Okay, so we're performing on New Year's Rocking Eve, and I'm doing In the Morning for the first time. And after that, in the morning at midnight, J.Lo Beauty launches. So what I'm doing is we're going to wash away 2020. We're doing a virtual party on Zoom for only 1,000 people. It's going to be very exclusive, and we're going to wash away 2020. I am going to be in my full performance outfit that you saw me perform in, and then I'm going to take off all my makeup and show you how I use my products, and we're going to wash away 2020 together. Maybe we'll have a little champagne, too. I don't know. A little toast. A little toast
for the new year.
Yes.
Yes. Finally, your teaser for In the Morning is unbelievable. You look incredible. I'll have what she's pouting. Yes. Tell me what the inspiration was with the wings, all of it.
You know, the song is really about, you know, kind of demanding someone to treat you in the right way. And for me, I've realized with relationships, you can't change anybody else. You can only change yourself. So there's a lot of symbolism in the video of this girl who kind of falls into a relationship, and she's falling and falling and falling. It's all very metaphoric and kind of artistic. And then she has to keep changing and evolving. And so she changes from, you know, she's sinking in this water, so she grows a mermaid tail and she goes up, and then she sees a butterfly and she realizes there's more evolution to go, and so little by little she starts growing her own wings just to be able to, you know, kind of walk away from the relationship. And you see that kind of evolution throughout it, but it's all like just these beautiful images and very artistic images of this person.
Every woman can relate to that.
Yeah, I think every woman can relate to it, but you don't want to just see the same old video where the guy's with the girl and he doesn't show up and blah, 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 blah. So we tried to do something that was a little bit more, not so on the nose.
Yeah.
Okay, and there you go. Looking forward to seeing J-Lo perform tonight. And now let's take a look at those celebrity birthdays for today. Let's see which celebrities are celebrating a birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these wonderful celebrities. We hope they have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful day today. Happy birthday to all of these celebrities. And that's going to do it for this Thursday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Thank you for joining us and watching this Thursday final broadcast of 2020. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and enjoy New Year's Eve. Be safe, and we'll see you in the new year. Goodbye, everyone.